Hey guys, so today I'm doing a little call with my husband. I'm Jacqueline. I'm the founder of Team Viva Vita, and this is my husband Mike. And we are going to talk about a topic today that I know has been brought up with a lot of different couples that have joined the business opportunity as coaches. For us personally, we're going to share our experience, and then kind of from Mike's perspective to what it was like for his wife to jump in full tilt boogie with Beachbody and become a coach, and what kind of that meant for our family and for us as a couple, and the sacrifices that we've had to make for the vision that I initially had, and then now that we share together. And so I know that a lot of times when one party wants to get in and really involve, the other party doesn't quite understand. And a lot of that can be chalked up to miscommunication, or can be not understanding the business or your true motivations. And this business isn't a get rich quick kind of thing. This is a lot about personal connections and relationships. It's a lot about time invested and a long-term investment at that. It's not something that immediately you get gratification from a monetary perspective. It's more gratification that you're helping others, that you're committing to your journey, and that through that, in the long term, you will and do have the potential to grow a substantial income, either replacing a full-time income, sometimes even retiring your spouse, as is the case with Amy Silverman and Kevin Mashburn, our upline. But that takes a substantial investment. It's not something that you jump into right away and get that return immediately. So from Mike's perspective, I put together some questions for him. So for his sake, and not getting me so off topic, I'm going to go through the questions, and then I'm going to kind of turn it over to him and let him share some of his points of view. So when I asked him to do this call, he was very open to the idea. And that's one thing I can say about my husband. Since the day one, I have felt nothing but supported, but I'm sure that from his perspective, there's been some opportunities for him to have some concern or of his own, and I'm going to let him talk about that. So babe, starting off with the questions that I gave you, how did you feel when I told you I wanted to become a coach? What was your initial feeling about that?
Well, I think the first thing for me is that I know you're very driven, and I've seen you before in other jobs, like when you were doing nursing when we met, and I know how much joy you get out of helping others. And that was a big thing for me in going down this road, because I know that there's a very real, tangible helping of others that you can get out of this job. And I knew that that was going to be your primary drive to go into it. So just for me, there was really no downside. It was just one more way that you could express that piece of you that I think is amazingly beautiful. And to get to see you do it in yet another avenue is something I wanted to support. So that it wasn't that hard of a sell for me.
Okay. And did you have any concerns? What were your concerns in the beginning? Did you ever think that it was like a waste of time, or that I was investing too much time, or did I have trouble like balancing my time in the beginning, or did you ever think that it was a scheme? Or
Well, there's about three things there. One, multi-level marketing. I know, I've read about it before. I've seen it before in other places. I know it can be very effective. So I knew, as far as the concept behind what you were doing, I knew that that would be effective, and then it was sound from what I knew, what I'd read, what I'd seen. So the legitimacy of the program was already there in my mind. As far as the time investment, I did anticipate that there would be a bit of a time sink in the beginning, because it's a startup. You have to have that initial push to get the inertia going. So I did expect it. I did not think it would be as much as it has been, or as consistent as it has been. But at the same time, I can live with it most of the time. It doesn't bother me. I know why you're doing it. I know what you're doing. And I think you've gotten really good at learning how to incorporate the family, or incorporate that into the family instead of the other way around. Because sometimes I think in the beginning, there was a pitfall of feeling like we were just another piece to be multitasked. And that breeds frustration. And as passionate as I am, I get a little bristled sometimes at things like that. But I also know that for my job, I'm gone a lot. And when I am home, I have to be adult enough to realize that, your job is still ongoing. Just because I have time off doesn't mean you have time off. But you're still there, and I still get to look at you. I get to still look left or right or whatever, and I still get to spend time with you. So I'm thankful for that. So I guess the summation of that whole argument is that while I had a little, I knew that it was going to be a time intensive in the beginning. We got through it. And one of the ways that we got through it was by talking about it. And when the points came up and it kind of felt like you were on your phone or on the internet all the time, I had to be a big boy and say something, but not say it in a way that was just mean. I had to check my ego and be like, hey, babe, I really, really want you to get off the damn phone right now. Like sometimes I just had to say that. And but it wasn't bad. And for those of you listening to me, you know, Jackie had to be woman enough on her end to look up from what she was doing that she's already planned and she's trying to execute, and take on board the fact that I'm saying, hey, I'm waving a flag, I'm hitting a red light, whatever you want to call it. I'm putting an indication up saying that I need you to pay attention to me right now because we need to work over this little hiccup.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best way.
And to that point, that was a growing opportunity for me. So those of you that are involved on this end of the thing, I never took that as Mike not supporting me. I took that as, okay, this is an opportunity for me to realize that I do have the freedom now to work whenever I want, but that doesn't mean I should work all the time. And if I had a 9 to 5, maybe I might not be off on the day that he was off. If I was working at the hospital, I might have to do shift work. But now I have the freedom to make and mold my schedule. So maybe I need to be more cognizant of setting set hours of when I'm going to talk to my coaches, of setting set hours and maybe getting up before Max so that things were done by the time Mike got home. And with the hours he's been keeping, with the job that he has in the Navy, he's gone a lot, like he said. And so I kind of take for granted that time. So I just work all the time, but that's not good for me either. And that sets me up for burnout. So that was an indication to me when he would say those things was, okay, am I structuring this so that my key priority is my family and that this is supporting that key priority, or is this just overwhelming my family? So I had to learn as a leader of the team, as growing my own business, as CEO of my own business, how that was going to look for us and what that was going to look like. Now Mike is getting ready to deploy for 9 months. And so of course my hours and priorities are going to shift, but McKenna still needs to be prioritized as having that key time with me and me not being in my computer. So always growing opportunities on my end. But again, that communication piece is huge because when Mike was home, I wanted to be able to set that side of time for him. That didn't mean I was always able to because other priorities called and we both had to make sacrifices. But for by and large, I had to learn that, you know, when he was there, that was the most important thing for us. So, babe, and then we just talked about how did I address your concerns? And then the next part was, we already talked about some of the frustrations you had with the building phase, of course, time being the major one and making sure that we communicated. What do you like about the Beachbody network? What have you seen as one of the biggest perks about not just me being involved with Beachbody, but how Beachbody supports us and what it brings into our life?
Well, I would say that one of the things that keeps my mental support of the program of that company, keeps it coming back, I guess, is that there are programs out there that we've discussed as we've encountered them. The other anybody else in the health, fitness, nutrition industry. I won't say any names, but there are other programs and products out there that at least I do. I get the feeling that when I see their advertisements or I encounter their sales reps, coaches, whatever you want to call it, it's like they're hawking the wares. Like it's kind of gimmicky and it's kind of, do this and, it's a miracle and all this, and it's false. I haven't done everything else. I'm not saying that it didn't work for me. I'm just saying from my perspective, it seems false. And when I've met I've met your coaches, I've met other coaches in the business. I've seen the products and the programs, and then I've seen you guys working together, and all of that is really by watching you. I get a sense that it is very genuine, that the community is very genuine, and there's no false promises of, oh, if you do this, I mean, it's a miracle pill. There's none of that. It's just, hey, we're in this together and it can be tough, but we can do it. And there is a way and you can find your own way and people are here to help you. And I think that's pretty legit. Being true to yourself is something that's really important to me. And, I think that.
So the integrity of Beachbody is sound, like what they support us with, the tools that they give us.
Yeah, I think it seems pretty legitimate.
The other thing I'll share with you guys here today is that so I became a coach in November of 2013, and I'm just over a year mark now in. Like Mike and I have discussed, I pretty much I went in all full tilt boogie. It wasn't like that at the beginning. I got in because I wanted a discount on my Shakeology. Mike started drinking it. I wanted to be able to supplement that for us because we were in a one income family at that point in time. Mike was the only one working. I had extended my maternity leave because McKenna was just over a year old, and I was looking for something to help me boost my energy. I found Shakeology. I got plugged into the community, and then I realized, I've done Beachbody programs for years, and I could get a discount if I was a coach. Then I started realizing how the growth structure worked with Beachbody and what I could do and how that faceted my, incorporated my love of fitness and passion in helping others. And so I really invested a lot of time. So what I'm about to say isn't across the board how it's going to be. It's completely proportional to your involvement and how much you want to invest. But since I decided in the very early stages of this growing opportunity that I wanted to make this a business, I put forth that kind of an effort. I put forth a business type of an effort. And so now, just over a year in, I'm matching my income as I was a full-time ICU nurse, working bedside hours. And that's pretty substantial. We're now, again, a two-income family, and that is because I put forth the effort to make this a business. That being said, if you treat this like a discount business, it's going to reimburse you like a discount business. You might be lucky to get your Shakeology covered. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll get maybe your Shakeology covered monthly. Maybe 1 month you will, 1 month you won't. But I'm all in. I'm in this day in, day out. I show up. I'm with my coaches. I build a team, and I treat it like a business. And I have the support of my husband, and I call it our business because even though he is a coach in my downline and maybe he doesn't be as active in the business side, I'm constantly growing this and building this with his support, his love. I'm bouncing ideas off of him. He's helping me with some of the back side of things or the financial side of things. So it's our business, and in the long run, I hope that he takes an even more active role. But as of right now, he still has his full-time job, and I support him in that. He supports me in this. So I want you to know that that's where I am now. Now there are coaches that have been involved with 2 and 3 years, and each year that income doubles or triples. There are $1 million earners in this business, and it's not uncommon for it to happen. But what makes those people different, what makes them stand out, is that they hit those hiccups, those hurdles in the road, which may be a spouse that didn't quite understand what they were doing, or it may be a slump or a slow season or slow earning in the beginning, and they powered through it. They looked at them as learning opportunities, and they continue to evolve their business and themselves, and then they experience that kind of success. But the people that hit those hurdles and then looked at it as like, I can't move beyond this, or maybe their spouse didn't get on board and support them, then a lot of times those people are like, okay, well, I can't fight that kind of resistance, and they give up. And it's such a shame because right on the other side of that resistance is usually where all the magic happens. And it's the same thing with when you're facing a huge weight loss journey or a health obstacle. Usually when you power through that plateau, that's when you see all the results. That's when you see the magic happen. So it's the same kind of concept for the business. So I appreciate you being on, honey. I appreciate that you were willing to talk about this openly, because I know I've heard from a lot of people this is something that has been an obstacle for their family to get on the same page about what this is going to look like for them. So do you think that, to wrap this all up, and I want you to share any other thoughts you have at the end, but do we share the same vision, like, for what this is going to hold for us in the future? How do you see it playing out for us? What do you see this coming into in the future for us?
Well, I think the long term is it's been that long term vision has been not a point of conversation for a while with both of us. I think as far as the company goes, definitely staying in it long term, continuing to build financial independence for the family. I think that was not a hard sell for either one of us.
No, and to that point, sorry to cut you off, but to that point, we did pay off all our credit card debt this year, and our cars are both completely paid off as well. So we are currently a zero debt family.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Yeah. So finish what you were saying. Sorry.
No, I think long term, you and I have always been on the same page. But I think the how and why to get between here and there. I mean, if I was a more involved coach, our styles are different, right? But I think the good thing about Beachbody is it allows you to have that. You can have both styles, and you can still look towards the same end goal. And for us, it is financial independence, and I think it's completely possible with this. But while we're doing it, it's not about the money. Some people say that, and it sounds kind of BS-y. But yes, definitely financial independence is in there because it's for our family. No arguments there. Transparency complete. But the how about getting there from A to B is that people are genuinely being helped along the way, and there's no shenanigans or falsehoods. It's just genuine people doing what they like and trying to help others, and I can respect that. So I think that's the biggest thing for us long term. The job I have is not the kind that you go into if you want to make a lot of money. You do it if it's something you believe in. And so for me, that's why I do what I do. The why is big. The why is big in a lot of ways for me. So that kind of esprit de corps and inner gut check moment of why you do things, why you do what you do, and even sometimes to the extent of what you do is a reflection and extension of who you are. So if you're someone who is making the world a little bit better, then yeah, I think that's a good thing. And I think that happens here. And I love watching it with you. I do. I love watching you help people and talk to people. And when you just get on a rant almost about just all these amazing things, and I get to watch it and I love it. So yeah, getting to watch you express who you are in another way that's positive and helps others. Yeah, I'm all about that. So I'm all in for that.
And I tell Mike all the time that, like him being there to support me and him having that role makes me feel like I'm that much more empowered to do it. I've always been a fiercely independent person prior to meeting Mike, and then even being married to him sometimes to a fault. But something about our companionship and the way he compliments me and is able to, when I'm not able to see it myself, or maybe I hit, a block or whatever, he helps come in and help me power through by giving me that boost of love and support that I need. So don't ever underestimate, to the spouses that are watching this with the coaches, don't ever underestimate your role. If you feel like you don't understand something, please communicate to them so that you guys can get back on the same page. But for sure, I felt like he holds a very vital role versus if he knows how to log into his Beachbody account or his coach number or not. Like, he holds a very key role in the structure of all of this and in my life and how this is going to develop for our family. So thanks, guys, for listening to this. I hope you found it helpful. Mike, again, is getting ready to deploy. I'm at my mom's house. He's at home in Hawaii. And this was something I really wanted to get on the books before he headed out, because it's such an important part of what we do as coaches is the relationships and the community. And the one that needs to be the most solid, I believe, is the one with your family. So Viva Vita is an extension of my family. So helping you guys to forge that bond means a lot to me as well. So thanks for making the time to be on. Thanks, babe. I love you. And I'll check in with you guys later. Bye.